the line item, this funding for that position over about a 3-year period, because the data that was presented was over a 3-year period. In any of those 3-year periods, was that position shared with another school district?
Yes.
So, in fact, the data that we were shown, we showed the growth in regards to some of the earlier, the 08, 09 time frame was a part-time position in terms of time dedicated to Hooksett.
At a point in history, yes. Currently, no.
Correct, but it was a recent point in history, correct?
Well, the whole position is recent history.
Correct. I would, once again, agree with Dr. Littlefield that he did come before the Budget Committee presenting that, and the Budget Committee did reduce that line item for curriculum directors because they were bundled with a math coordinator plus the languages into the same line, and we reduced it by the entire amount of the language arts director at that time. Obviously, if the line item is $140,000 and we cut that in half, there's always going to be $1 left over. But there was a strong position that at that point in time last year, we did not believe that we should be adding more staff because of the economic climate. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak?
I would agree in 2010, Mr. Littlefield did present the coordinator in the budget. I'm not sure that it's so clear about the dollar being left because, as Mr. Lazat said, there was another person in that line. But I would offer this. That was 2010. In 2011, maybe into 12, depending on when we voted, the Budget Committee this year voted only their opinion that funds not be used to fund the coordinator. So it may have been the opinion in 2010 to use stimulus money, but this year there is no stimulus money, and we were talking budget money, and we did have a vote, and the majority of the Budget Committee agreed that we should not fund particularly the coordinator. So I just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I guess I would also add that these are tough times, okay? And the Budget Committee, as a general rule, did not want to increase additional incremental positions. And we did vote in the majority as a motion not to increase any new positions in the school district as a general consensus, as a general opinion. It's not binding. We just, as we're trying to communicate with the school district in a collaborative effort, we were stating our opinion as how we felt they should not be funding these positions. Tough times, not this year. It was a very good presentation at the budget workshop. It's just not this year. And if they're capable of doing things the way they are right now, then why fund an additional position subsequent to that?
I guess why I'm speaking against this amendment to the budget is I'd rather make sure that they support the collective bargaining agreements, and anything that moves this budget up more is going to decrease support potentially for other large-minded items, such as warrant articles 2 and 3.
Warrant articles 2 and 3 have already been moved to the. Oh, I understand. Got it. Thank you. Any other questions, comments, thoughts on the proposed amendment? Okay, so just to be clear, the proposed amendment is to add an additional $283,643.16 to include $40,000 for technology, $111,110.36 for salary for a language arts director, and $131,532.80 for 2 teaching positions. So the new figure would be whatever was in the, I haven't done that. If you wouldn't mind. I should have brought a calculator.
$27,181,192.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that is what is before the body. All those in favor of approving the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Okay, moderator judges the motion has failed, so we're back to the original article. Okay, back to the original Article 4. Does anyone else wish to speak to Article 4 as it's written? Okay, seeing none, I would ask all those in favor of moving Article 4 to the official ballot as written, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Okay, thank you.
Point of order?
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry.
Point of order?
Yes.
I'd like to have a motion to restrict reconsideration on this article.
Okay. There's a motion to restrict reconsideration. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Would you come up and just identify yourself, please?
One Corn, One Monroe Drive, I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. So the motion to restrict reconsideration has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay, moving along, Article 5. Should the district vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $62,300 to replace the parking lot at Fred C. Underhill School, this sum to be funded from the June 30th, 2012 undesignated fund balance, recommended by the school board, recommended by the budget committee. I would entertain a motion to move Article 5 as written to the official ballot.
I so move.
Is there a second?
I second.
Would you like to speak to it?
This article was in our original budget. However, after deliberation, we, the school board, felt that we should have the voters decide this issue rather than making it part of our budget process. The parking lot at Underhill has become a safety issue and is of immediate concern. The amount would be taken from any undesignated fund balance the school district may have at the end of the 2011-2012 school year.
Thank you. What's your pleasure? Anyone wish to ask questions, make comments?
Just a question, Ken Sher, 16 Post Road. Does this change the dimensions of the existing parking lot at all, or is it just a straight repave of the existing?
I think we're limited in that lot on what we can do, so it's just repaving what we currently have.
Okay, including the driveway that goes around the back of the building?
I believe that's part of it.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Jimmy Show on Wall Road. Does this article mean that that is going to be the top limit of what it's going to cost?
Oh. Yes, it was a no. Yes, the answer to that.
I nodded.
Sorry, so the answer to that question is yes.
I just wanted to comment, not as a budget committee member, but as someone who attended the school board meeting. The school board is going against their legal counsel's advice on this warrant. They did have a public meeting that their counsel advised them that if this was a safety issue, it should be put in the budget. Because should this warrant article fail, they cannot resurface the parking lot at Underhill because of the way the law is written. You can't do it. So they did hear that advice, but they still have put it into this warrant article, which I don't think was a particularly wise way to look at it. Thank you.
Junior Kozlowski, 22 Julia Drive. What's this going to cost me? In other words, what's the tax impact?
Coming from fund balance, so there would be no tax.
No cost whatsoever. You know, you guys really ought to like say that in these things. And just for future reference, I'd like that question to be applied to all these warrant articles.
Actually, there is a restriction against putting that information.
I know that I can't. disagree on that. As a matter of fact, we do disagree on that. I know that legal advice tells you not to. I have a different opinion of that. It could still be provided in a supplementary sheet. And I think it ought to be provided somehow, whether it's here, on another piece of paper, because when I decide whether I'm going to support any of these things, I look at whether or not I can pay for them.
No, I
Great big numbers are meaningless to me. Whereas if you tell me this warrant article will cost me nothing, how about it? You tell me it's going to cost me $800, I'm going to panic. So I think that's very important information to present to the public. I wish it were made more clearly available. Okay, so this one's nothing. Well, in effect. In other words, my tax bill will not go up.
That's correct.
And if that's not correct, I would like to know that.
I would prefer that the conversation not happen back there. So the question is just confirming that the tax rate will not change as a result of passage of this warrant article. That's the question.
That was my question.
That's correct.
I have a question, Mary Farrell, 24 Grand Drive. I have a question about the wording of the sum to be funded from the June 30th, 2012 undesignated fund balance, and it seems to be the next article is that as well. So does that mean if there is money left in the budget at the end of this year, you would be using that to pay for this? So if there's no money left, then you're done. Okay. And then conversely, as to Ginger's point, it is going to, if I understand this right, it is going to cost you something, because if they didn't do this, and I think they should, the parking lot's a mess, then this would go to reduce the tax rate. So it's not going to cost you any more, but it could have been less. Yeah, but I think they should do it because it's a mess. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Dave Hess, 68 Pine Street. I believe the correct answer to Ginger's question was this expenditure will not increase your tax rate for this year, but if that surplus is left and not spent, it will be applied to reduce your tax rate next year. And if I'm in error, I'm staying correct.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
This is a school board article, correct? This is not a petition article. So the school board is pretty confident that there'll be that much money in Articles 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Okay. That there'll be that much left over at the end of this fiscal year to fund this article. Okay. Thank you.
That was an affirmative, yes. Yes.
And Jim, one of the things you'll notice is they're funded in the order they appear on the warrant. So the most important one to be funded by fund balance is one that has to do with safety and well-being of our kids. So we're very confident that will be funded. You become less confident the further down you go.
So you essentially prioritize these in the order that they
By the
appear
order
on
in which
the
they
article.
appear on the warrant.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Moderator, which actually brings to my point, there's a nice segue, thank you very much, because during the deliberative and review process, I'm also the vice chair of the Capital Improvements Program, which entitles warrants like this, anything over $50,000 to be specifically targeted. This is actually a capital improvements CIP warrant. Okay. And during those discussions, as well as during the discussion of the budget committee to a lesser extent, was if it's that important and it supersedes all other warrant article projects that you have, why are you putting it in a warrant article to be subject to